Hey everybody, this is Joseph. Just coming to you from up here in my office, and just wanted to just touch base with you about just a couple of things that we have going on during this winter and spring semester. This is going to be such a big semester for us, and we're excited. I'm going to share with you at the end just a couple of new things that we have that are going on. But what I wanted to start off with was just kind of talking to you about just some group things that are happening, just some ways to maybe just sharpen up sometimes during your group. As we know, this is right at the beginning. Some of you are new into groups as far as like leading. Some of you have some new people that are coming into your groups. And so this is such a key time for us to just kind of talk about belonging and stickiness. I don't know if you've ever messed with any kind of super glue before or any kind of just really strong adhesive, but I've done it before where sometimes I maybe get a little bit between my fingers and get stuck together, and uh, and really when we're thinking about people coming into our groups, that's what I want us to think about is how are they sticking, right? How are they not just coming in and experiencing the group for the one time, but really how are they beginning to stick with one another and stick into our groups? And so that's what belonging is that it's a part of how people are sticking. We've ran some numbers here recently, and we found something that's kind of interesting in that for the amount of people that we have in our church, 3, 4 thousand that are coming here on a Sunday mornings, that we had during this fall semester right around 1,900 people that attended a group at least once during this semester. 1,900 people. That sounds amazing, but what we began to notice is that a large percentage of those people tended at least two times or less. And what that means is that we've got to work as much as possible on getting people to stick within our groups. Stickiness relates to belonging. I was reading this article, and it said, the author put, it said, by belonging to a group, we feel as though we're a part of something bigger and more important than ourselves. And so that's what belonging is that we see that our groups that we're coming into, man, there's something bigger that's happening here than just being a part of this one event, this smaller group of people, that we're really giving our lives into something that's bigger. And there's this intrinsic motivation. Yes, we could promote all we can every single week. We could tell people about groups that are going on. But really, whenever people have this intrinsic motivation to be a part of something bigger than themselves, then they're going to come into groups. And then it's our responsibility as a group to help people feel like they belong. So, how do we help people feel like they belong in our groups? Well, I'm going to just tell you, this is just the truth. I'm not holding anything back. It requires active effort and practice. Helping people feel like they belong, it's going to require an investment of your time, and even sometimes it's going to require investment of your finances. What I mean by that is that you're going to give resources. Maybe it's through helping people to eat, helping people, you're going to go spend some time with each other outside of your normal group time. That, you know what, it's going to be an investment that you're making to help people feel like they are connecting. So that's a big thing to just remember. It's that it takes effort, it takes practice to help people feel like they belong. But some other things is that, what are some ways that we can just help train some people in our groups to help them feel like they belong, as well as that, look for connections, find ways that you're similar. I tell you, it's very easy for us to look for ways that we are different, right? We can look on the external. We can see some things that are different. I mean, my hair is totally different from Fabio's hair, right? Just long, flowing, all that is. I've got hair, and so, or I don't have hair, and so because of that, it's real easy to look on the outside and to see how different that we are. But what we really need to be looking for is some of the similar connections that we make. So that's a part of the conversations that we're having, how we're getting to know each other, how we're getting to do these things. We did this thing this year in our Wednesday night groups called Timeline, of where we had everybody to write down about 3 to 5 different major life events, and then as a group they took a poster board and they just started laying them out and taping them out all along the way, of just the ways that they were connected, where these life events intersected. And we were able to see just kind of how our lives all just kind of came together. There were some people that they were getting married at similar times, or maybe they were getting experience salvation at the same time as another major life event was happening with others. So just to see that happens, that's a way that you're able to find that you're similar. Here's the other thing that I want you to consider about how to help people feel like they belong is you work on acceptance. And what I mean by that, there's a difference between acceptance and agreement. I'm not saying that we have to agree on every single little thing. People are going to have different experiences. They're going to have different things that they're going to make us unique. But we can come together by the grace of God, and we learn how to accept one another. And that is so key. And this comes through how we validate. We validate each other's experiences. We help them to see these experiences, though, as well through the eyes of Christ. So that's so key for us as we're just bringing in maybe new people into our groups, or maybe we're helping people to just learn about who we are as a group. We want to make them feel like they're accepted there within our groups. Here's the other thing that I want you to consider about doing is saying yes to opportunities to connect. And I'm gonna just once again, we're gonna be brutally honest, right? The context may not be desirable for you to connect, but the connections need to be desirable. What I mean by that, you may be somebody that hates hiking, right? You may be somebody that hates Mexican food. I don't know many people like that, but you may hate some of these things. But if you have somebody that's in your group that you know what they love hiking and they invite you to come along and hike, right? Don't look at the context of where it's going to be and say, you know what, I can't stand hiking. Look at the connections that have the availability to be made, right? And find those ways that you can make those connections, right? That's what's so important for us. And so, you may hate doing some things, but the reality is that if somebody's inviting you into their life, find those ways that you can build connections. And then from there, you can say, you know what, I'm going to be honest. I don't like Mexican food. Is there a way that we can find a restaurant that we both like? But don't tear down the opportunity for that, for those connections to be made. Say yes to those opportunities to connect with somebody. It may take some time out of your schedule. It may be something that just happens at the last second. I'm telling you, that's a way that people are going to feel like they belong even more. And here's the last thing I want to just share about that. Help people to see the group as a place of refuge. Yes, our ultimate refuge is our refuge that we have in Christ. He is the one that we find our safety in. But also, as well, help our groups to be a place where people can leave some of maybe the junk that they have in their life, some of the trials that they're going through, and they can come to their group time and they can find that to be a place where they really are able just to share what's happening in their life and to find godly counsel, right? Uh, I think that's what's key. And that's the way as people are coming in, that they're going to find their way to belong. But the way that they're doing that is through biblical community, and help them to find that biblical community, and something that's different from the world. That's the way our groups need to operate. Is this something that's different? And it's just one of those things that where they're saying, you know what, uh, not everybody's perfect that's in this group, but yes, this place where I can be imperfect and I can learn how to grow in Christ. That's what we want our groups to be like. Now, I'm going to say that's just kind of one of the things we're going to touch about this a little bit more in our small group leader workshop that we have coming up February the 22nd, that morning at 8:30. And so we're going to be covering a ton of other topics for you as group leaders. And I encourage you, maybe find some group leaders that have come to this. They're going to tell you how beneficial it was for them. And it helped them just to walk and just grow a little bit further in their time, in their experience as a group leader. So that's for new leaders. That's also for existing leaders. I will encourage as many of our existing leaders come to that as possible. You are really going to enjoy the time. I spend time with you. I want to invest in you in those moments. So it's 8:30. We're done before lunch. We've got childcare is provided. We're going to have some snacks for you that's provided that morning. Go online and register for that. That's going to help us out so much to just be prepared for that day, those that are coming. So that's February the 22nd. Put it down on your calendars in the next few weeks. Now, let me give you some other just housekeeping items that we have coming up that I'm excited about as well. First, we're going to have just a new attendance system that's going to be rolling out. It's a new management system. It's called Touchpoint. So eventually down the road, we're not going to be having to use Arena anymore. to go online and do your attendance. What I'm looking forward to, and I think this is one of the features that's going to be rolling out, is that the attendance will be able to be done through an app. And how cool is that going to be to make it so much easier for you as group leaders? And so, with that, let me just encourage you as well. Get into the habit now. Please get into the habit now of taking attendance. Get into the habit now of going in and checking your roles. If there's some people that we just see, you know what, we've reached out to them, they're just not connecting in with us. This is time. Let us know of those people that maybe you've had to pull out of your group in whatever way. But please now start to get into the habit of taking attendance in that way. Here's the other thing that we're doing as a response to Never Enough, and with the reading plans that are going on. That's going to be something that we are going to try to consistently provide for you through different seasons of the year. It's not going to be something we're going to be able to do year round, but right now at first, but it is something that we're going to try to consistently provide for you. And so with that, just a heads up, the next sermon series that's coming out is a series through Romans. And so with that, we are going to have a digital reading plan. It's a PDF that's going to be available online. You'll be able to go on and download that. In fact, what we went ahead and did is we divided it down through the 3 different reading plans. So there's the first step reading plan that'll be its own document, the growth step reading plan that'll be its own document, the next step reading plan that'll be its own document. So you could go on, you could continue on as a group to have that reading plan experience, print it out, put it in a notebook, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. But we want you to know that that's going to be available for us continuing on. Also, you're going to just start to see some more construction that's starting to happen around the church. We're excited about our new parking lot that's going to be built here soon. You're going to start to see some of our walkways. They're going to uh, start to be demolished and then putting in some new walkways for us. And so this is going to be a critical time, just kind of a heads up. And I want to encourage you during this time. Maybe you as a group, y'all decide, you know what, we want to ride the bus together. I'm going to tell you, it's a pretty quick way to get in and out of our facility whenever you're able to ride the shuttle bus. So just to encourage you to think about during this time is just to do that. Here's a couple more things just to put down on your calendars is March 27th and 28th. We are having a family life marriage conference that's going to be here. That's going to be a Friday night and a Saturday during that day. And it's $70 per couple. And I'm telling you guys, this is a great investment in your marriage. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's right at the kickoff of spring break. So if you don't have any plans right on that first Friday and Saturday, in fact, majority of y'all probably leaving out anyways that following week if you're going to be out of town. So you have no excuse. Don't miss out on this marriage conference that's coming up March 27th and 28th. Guys, I'm telling you, we've got a lot of great things that are going on. In fact, you're going to even hear about a promotion of something that's coming up called launch groups. And if you maybe have some leaders, some people that are in your groups that are maybe ready to take that step into leading people, what you're going to hear about is our launch groups that are coming out. This is a great way to just introduce people into group life and just to help them to take that next step and just growing and connecting with us in that. Launch groups is really kind of a neat experience. It's going to be um, it's a 12-week group experience where they're 8 weeks on campus, and then the final 4 weeks they're off campus. And we're going to be going through Steve Austin's Getting Your Life on Target. And so I just want to encourage you, that's going to be launching on February the 23rd, and it's a great experience. So as I said, if you have some people in your group that you could see that could be potential group leaders, please let us know. We want that to be a great group experience on that night as we're launching on February the 23rd. So guys, heads up, a lot of things happening, I know, but thank you so much for what you're doing. Let's continue to work on helping people to stick within our groups and helping to make sure that we are part of helping them to belong as much as possible. Thank you again. Let me know if you ever have any kind of questions. We're here for you. We're here supporting you. I appreciate all that you do, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.